Hey guys, welcome to another Let's Play. It's time for Skater 3. Continuing that marathon, because you know that thing still exists. So first of all, I have to turn off the music and shit so that we can have the sound effects with this music, which is the menu music you hear in the game. Again, by Brian Blight. And yeah, this one is one of my childhood games. It's definitely one of my favorites of the PS1 Turn Pro Skater games. The Creator Skater is not very good, but the actual game and the levels and such is good. So the first thing I want to do is just make my custom, skater, because that's what we're playing as for this one. Because, that's important. So, yeah, let's see. I forgot some Zin. That's obviously my name. Hello, I'm Zin. Yep. Gonna make that stupid joke. Australia. Ha ha ha. I'm so comical. And anything else can stay the same except for weight, which I'll put into about a little bit down. 62. Alright. So, when you go for the head, it doesn't change just your fucking hair. It changes everything. By the way, Rastaman, you want to create the Rastaman, which we've seen in Turn Pro Skater 1. And we see from the sidelines giving us the boards and such. And that's the best I can get for the mullet thing. That's the best hairstyle we can get. That fits me. But that face does not fit me at all. So yeah, the custom skater thing sucks here, but everything else is pretty good. And of course I'm going in pretty much even. So yeah, this has a lot of differences. For instance, it has this shit. We can now do double ups, double lefts, whatever, and have different things. We have to insert these lip tricks here by manual, and then complete that. And our specials is the same as every other game. The dark slide, the twist, and the 540 flip. So, now we got all that shit done and ready. Let's choose our board. The 4 elements, 3D, Birds, KJ, Stephen Pro, Troubled, Wild Style, Thuggish, Crane Style, Pimpin', USAF, Old Glory, Scratch. And then we got the new ones like Ear, which by the way, we don't buy boards here, we unlock them by finding them, which is a new thing. We'll stick with 3D for now. But yeah, we'll be playing as the created skater for this part. It'll be on the first level, then we will go for every skater, like before. As you can see, we have 3 medals, 3 competitions, and we have level goals, 50 of them. But the Foundry, that's our first level, let's do this. As you can see, we also got the deck as a no. So, valves and jammed, press, cannonball over the half pipe, grind the control booth, on the secret table, blah blah blah, you already get that. We got some new music, for instance. Here's the level. For instance, to fit with the fact that the soundtrack for Pro Skater has been changing, there's Cannonball with the Half Pipe, I have now added in rap music. So, we got the Cannonball with the Half Pipe. The next thing I want to do is pretty much grind this, destroy that little thing over there where the pit is. There's also these skate letters, they're still here, they've always been here and they'll never leave. And if you just, there we go, run control loop. If you saw that before, there's that stat thing there. That's a stat point. We don't get stats from, you know, just doing good or whatever. We get stats from collecting them. So, same as Turn Pro Skater 2, but, you know, it's kind of different. Not by much, though. Well, actually, we buy stats. Here, we actually do collect them. The buying thing, we don't actually buy anything. Everything is unlockable now. And I'm trying to do a gap here, but I keep fucking it up. Don't worry, you'll see me get it later on. But for now, I should probably get the skate letters, which is easy to do, because there you go. Now, there's some other things as well, outside of the gaps and such, you know. There's a lot to explore. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Got the 6th score, so that's done. The next thing I want to do is try to get this gap, which I'm going to fuck up again because the way you get this gap is a lot different than how I'm doing it. But it's going to be quite the gap list I have to deal with. I've changed a few things with how this Let's Play is going to go. For instance, the gap list is now going to have music. And, of course, we're going to have rap music instead of just punk like before. So that was the first song. Thank you, Liberal Shimmering, for letting me play that. Very nice of you. You might actually get another part in Turbo Skater 4, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, let's just put our name on that board. Considering we now have the high score, which we'll always get the top of, considering, you know, the 6th score. And our next song is from a person you might have heard before. It's Berserkyd. Last time, you know, we had that one song that was really cool and we had it in the intro. Well, now we have 5 Speedway. By the way, here's the board. They sort of hide these boards, but not really. And by the way, I have 2 returning artists here, 2 returning musicians, Berserkyd and Son Sullivan. So yeah. By the way, here's Activate Press, which we need to activate because the stats up there. We need that. The next thing is, let's see, I think it has to do with that stat up there. Let's go grab it. To grab it, I might need the special bar, considering it does increase your speed and such, but really I just need to get up there. There's that stat, grind it, and there you go. The next thing I should do is, I believe I should get up there, because we have to get the secret tape, which is up there. Just have to grind on these pipes, and got it. I hope I land it. Nailed it. Okay, last thing I have to do now is destroy these fucking things over here on the walls. Just have to wall ride on them. They're valves. Yeah, the valve thing is kind of back, but different. It's, you know, downhill jam, but here it's much easier to get. And it should be easy because it's the first level. It's always an easy level. Now, I don't remember too much of this game, so I literally had to practice, and I will be practicing every single level before I begin recordings. But yeah, when it comes to getting the goals, I really can't remember how I get them, and getting the stats as well and shit, so yeah, this will be in practice, but you know, fuck having to do this blind. This is one of those games which you just don't want to be blind. By the way, look, it's Caleb Webster. He's from the intro. That's Losing Ground. And I won't be playing for long because all I need is a stat point here and that's it. Don't worry, you'll hear him more in later levels. Don't worry. But yeah, we got Rio now. Hooray! We'll be doing that another time. But for now, we have to deal with gaps. because, as you all know, gaps are now very important with the 20+ skater games after 1. So, let's have a look at our gap checklist right now. By the way, here's our stats. Let's just make it even. It's not like it will matter anyway. We're not really playing as him anymore, considering we'll be playing as all the pro skaters for the rest of the parts, including our new pro skater, Bam Margera. Anyway, here's his new board, which is ear. And that's it. It's not that great. But yeah, let's go check out the gap checklist, because that's important. That is very important. We need to know exactly what gaps we have to do now, because guess what? Gap time. So there's the gap checklist, and we have about 52 gaps. There's all the gaps. They're now all in like air gap and grind gap. There should be some manual gaps and such, but for now it's just that shit. Now, before I always just go on about music, but for this one, for every single one of these gaps, I'll be having CrystalFissure's song play in the background as I talk through the gaps. So, here we go. It's gap time. Let's do this for Foundry. 3, 2, 1. Okay, first of all, we have to go from there to there for channel surfing. The next gap will be to jump over this pit for Bubblin' Brew. The next gap will have to be from jumping side to side on that fucking thing for second story air. Next, jump over this little gap at the very beginning for the south side air. Next, jump over this little thing here for the wedge gap. The next thing I should deal with is jumping over this, over to this side here for the over the hard way. The next, I should just jump over without grinding for the perfect gap. Then jump from here down to over this rail here for the high to low. And the next thing I should do is just jump over this for the over the flat. Next thing to do is to do a wall ride here for Gapman and Robin. The next gap I should be doing is not that hard. Grind here, jump over, and then you get the gain higher. The next gap requires me to just jump over this entire slope here for clear the roller. The next gap requires me to wall ride up to here for what are you doing here? You know, because why? The next ones, they're pretty much the same from the left and right sides of these rails. Both have east side rail hopping and west side rail hopping. You can't really miss them. The next one requires me to jump over here and grind here for the purpose in the gap. The next one requires me to jump up here and grind this for nice, and then grind from one of these pipes to the other for pipe hopping grind. Pipe hopping grind, and I couldn't do it there. Next, from the catwalk, grind from one end to the other for the catwalk crawler. Then, grind here, jump over this gap, and then grind all the way to the highest tops you can to grind the gap. Next is along the handrail, just grind this all the way through. Pretty easy. Then, jump up here and grind this all the way for grind away. Grind away. Next, grind from here to the other end for the pipe grind. Simple. Next, grind here, make a jump over this, and then take another grind here for the board burner. Next, take a high ledge grind by grinding from one end to the other from here. Very simple to do. Next is pretty difficult actually. It was hard for me to actually do with the stats I got right now. Grind from one end to the other from this slope thing where the knock bucket is for end to end. But that's nothing compared to this rail here, which you have to grind from one side to the other for the workers union. It took me quite a few attempts, and it's very difficult to do with the stats we got. The full stats is much easier. The next one, we have to grind from here to here for the tight pipe grinder. Next are these free grinds here, just grind from one to the other for the triple beam. Now the next one, I almost did right. Almost. What I was supposed to do was wall ride and actually go over this thing over there and then grind for the Pro Bowl, as you can see. The next one, grind this little thing here for crisscross. It's very easy to do. Next, grind this rail here and then jump off and grind to the rail below for the world according to gap. Simple to do. Next, grind this and grind that spot there for stepping up. The next one is grind the pipe, but this time just jump down and grind down there for the saved by the grind. Next, grind this pipe by this wall, and then grind all the way to this pool over there for the combi bear style. Weird fucking name, I don't know why it's called that. Next one is getting over. Just jump over there to this pipe over there. Simple as that. Now the next one are 2 gaps, tight and dropping grinds. Grind this pipe, go to the second pipe, grind that, then jump up this rail to the side. There's your tight, jump down and grind the pool for drop and grind. And lastly, go for this pipe here, grind it all the way to this rail over there, and you get Shaba style. And that's all the gaps I can get right now. I'm missing 3, but that's because they are basically impossible for me to get right now. We will come back to those gaps later on in a future part when I get full stats. But for now, we're done with that. And that's it for Foundry, really. So let's have a look at the gaps that I missed. And, you know, just deal with that right now, because that's important. We need to know what gaps I missed. So the first gap I missed was called Skills Gap. I tried a bunch, couldn't do it. And it's a bitch to do. I'll need the full stats to do it. I need a lot of speed and height. Go to distance, same thing, a lot of speed and height. And the last one is a real bitch to do, Booyah Grandma Booyah, which is a grind from one end of the level to the other, the entire area, which will require me a lot of grinds, handling shit, so yeah, not dealing with that. But next time, as Tony Hawk, as you can see, here's all pro skaters, but next time as Tony Hawk, I will be doing the next level, which is Los Angeles. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time as we continue Turbo Skater 3. Thanks for watching.